way that, QE and QT work functionally is you can think about it very simply. Like I said, think of it as like a swap, an asset swap between the
Mm-hmm.
Fed and a commercial bank. So like JP Morgan, when the Fed does QE, they create a bank reserve or settlement balance, let's say for $100 million, and they swap it for
Yep.
$100 million worth of treasuries from the bank. And so the bank gets $100 million of bank reserves, and the Fed gets $100 million of treasuries. And so what this means is that the overall size of the banking system grows, right? Because the Fed just created a bank reserve out of thin air. Now, when the Fed does QT, the opposite happens. So they allow an asset on their balance sheet, which is their bond, right, to roll off. And then they reduce their liability, which is a bank reserve, by the same amount. And so that means that whenever there's QT, the overall size of the banking system falls, which means that there's less liquidity overall because there's less bank reserves, but also obviously less assets on the Fed's balance sheet that they can hold. And so
Yep.
they've been doing this to withdraw liquidity for last 2 years, 2.5 years or so, and it's been pretty effective, right? We've seen a reduction in overall headline inflation as well as PPI inflation pretty steadily here for the last 2 years, and that
Yep.
combined with high rates is pretty restrictive policy.